Breaking news, and it's the best possible roster move news that we could bring you. Greg Papa just texted me that he is planning to make his return to the 49ers radio booth tomorrow for the biggest game of the year, the regular season finale against the Seattle Seahawks. Greg has been dealing with leukemia, and it has been a courageous fight. So far, it has been a successful fight. I know that he wanted to come back last week against the Bears, but determined that it would not be the best thing for his health. He still needed to build up some more strength. Well, Greg feels that he has built up the strength necessary to come back tomorrow for the Week 18 showdown against the Seahawks. We're going to drive through San Francisco. You guys can see Nob Hill here. There's going to be a very, very steep incline to our right here, Margot. As soon as we get going, point that camera to the right, and you're going to be able to see down into downtown. That way, yes, just down to the right. We got all the tourists crossing the street. I don't think they want to go down that hill because it would probably mean they have to go up that hill. The beautiful streets of San Francisco. This is California Street. It is iconic. There's the old Pacific Union Club and the Fairmont Hotel, the big white building there. It survived the 1906 earthquake. It is the original Fairmont Hotel as well. We'll stay on the cable car tracks. We'll make our way down the hill the way the cable cars do. And we're going to talk about 49ers Seahawks, the biggest roster move. Yes, Greg Papa cannot wait to hear the touchdown San Francisco tomorrow. How many times are they going to make Greg Papa say touchdown San Francisco? I can't even try to emulate him. He's too good. Let's look down California Street. This is the iconic shot. You've probably seen this in a lot of postcards. The cable car is going to be making its way up. And tomorrow, the 49ers, they'll also be making their way up. I think that Brock Purdy scored 5 touchdowns in each of the past 2 games. It's obviously going to be tougher against the Seattle Seahawks because this is maybe the best defense in all of football. But I will say that it does seem that excellent offense has beaten excellent defense recently in the NFL, especially if they're delivering offensively the way that they have over the course of the past several weeks. Ever since Brock Purdy re-entered the lineup for the 49ers, they've been the best offense in football. And the Seahawks, they're down below average in that time span. So it's one of those things where you have 2 separate strengths going for both of these teams. 49ers offense and the Seahawks defense. And the other sides of the ball for both of these ball clubs have struggled. 49ers defense, we saw them against the Bears last week. It was not good, but they were able to get just enough done at just the right time to make it work against Chicago. This time of the year, Margot's doing a great job with the filming. I have to tell her, this time of the year, you have a lot of tourists in San Francisco. I would recommend those of you who come as tourists, if you're not ready for these streets, don't drive because it's really slowing down our video right now as we make a right turn on Powell Street. It is really unbelievable how clueless people are at this time of the year. And I get it when the hills are 45 degrees steep and you don't know what street is a one-way, what street's a two-way, and there's cable cars going every which way. I get that it could be really hard, but we're going to loop our way here through downtown, Chinatown, and then North Beach as we talk about this matchup. The Seahawks have not allowed a 100-yard rusher in 25 straight games. 25. That includes the Week 1 game against San Francisco, which saw the 49ers average like 3.1 per rush. This is 4 months ago now. Consider how long it has been since the 49ers and the Seahawks met for the first time this year. That was the game that came off of the Christian McCaffrey injury drama where everybody's like, oh gosh, he's on the injury report. I think it was listed with an Achilles at the time in Week 1. I think there was some soreness there, and Christian knew that he was going to play the whole time. Kyle Shanahan was just messing with the media and messing with Mike McDonald and the Seahawks as much as possible. Christian obviously did play in that Week 1 game, but he wasn't effective running the ball. He was effective catching it, but he wasn't effective running it. And that was a great sign that this Seahawks defense would be elite when it came to stopping the run this year. And they haven't given up that 100-yard rusher dating back to early last season. And that was Mike McDonald's first year as the Seahawks coach. If the 49ers can run the way that they did last week, it's in the bag. This is a win. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball the way that they did last week. I think they're going to have to throw the ball to set up the run because, the way Seattle's playing a lot of too high safety defense, and they're still stopping the run. They're playing two-shell defense, and they're still stopping the run, which means both safeties are back away from the line of scrimmage. The numbers typically don't work for run defense the way that the Seattle Seahawks are making it work. But it just so happens that Seattle is able to stop the run because Mike McDonald's really good, and he's got really, really good personnel. So San Francisco is going to have its hands full against Seattle this weekend. You look all the way up to the top of that building, Margot. That used to be the Harry Denton Starlight Room. It's now a new bar. I'll actually have to take you there. It's really nice. You get a nice view of Union Square and everything here in downtown San Francisco. That used to be a hotel, the Sir Francis Drake, where they had the bellmen dress up in these crazy like costumes. It made you feel like you're in England or something. We're going to turn left here, and here's Union Square. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everybody. Is the Christmas tree already gone? No, it's there. Good. Union Square, is that a Czech flag? I thought that it might be a Filipino flag, but I thought the Filipino flag had an extra logo in the middle. That might be a Czech flag, and I have no idea what it's doing on the Westin St. Francis Hotel. That's really cool. All right, well, we'll figure that out later. Here's the Christmas tree. Here's your flagship Apple store too, but yeah, Christmas tree first. You guys are getting the full tour. I figured that we'd save downtown San Francisco and Chinatown and North Beach for the Seahawks game for Week 18. There's the Williams-Sonoma flagship store, by the way, right on Union Square. I know that makes Margot happy. Probably like that better than the Apple store with their police mobile command unit, so nobody could steal anything from the Apple store. Sometimes you need that, yeah. But we're going to continue on and talk about the Seahawks run defense. Leonard Williams is so good against the run. And the 49ers offensive line, Leonard Williams is so good against the run. And the 49ers offensive line has been really, really damn good this year as well. I see this as an A-list on A-list matchup. And it's really funny because before the season, there was so much consternation about the 49ers O-line. They'll never be able to play with the best opponents in football. They have held up in pass protection just fine, and I think they are now starting to hit their stride in run blocking. Even if Trent Williams, Margot loves the designer stores. Are you trying to get all the designer stores right now? I think that's what's happening right now. Just the important one. We're about to go through the French Quarter, then we're going to go through Chinatown. But most importantly, we're in the designer district. And I just heard the whoo from Margot. And I'm like, the camera's zooming in on something that is not me, but that's okay. Because we're talking about the 49ers run game against this Seattle defensive front. And Leonard Williams is really good. But I think that, whether it be the left guard position, which the 49ers, I think, have figured out with Spencer Burford. Center, where Jake Brendel is playing really good. Right guard, Dominic Pooney's playing really well. Colton McKivitz is the second highest graded right tackle in all football, behind only Penei Sewell. I mean, even if it's Austin Pleasance playing instead of Trent Williams tomorrow, he was really good in the run game ahead of Christian McCaffrey last week. It was their best run performance of the season. All right, the tiny French Quarter in San Francisco is right here. You look to the right, do you see Café de la Presse right there? And if you zoom in on the street sign on the corner, it's a Parisian street sign. It's really cool. It says Rue Bush, and it's Avenue Grant. We're on Grant Avenue right now, and we're gonna head right up into Chinatown from there. What was always really neat about San Francisco is that the neighborhoods, like of the different countries, were all sandwiched together like a real world Disneyland. So you have your French Quarter and the awesome little cafe on the right, and then straight ahead of us, you have the gates into Chinatown. And so we're going to be crossing over from a European neighborhood straight into an Asian neighborhood right now as we get our green light, right through these gates of Chinatown. And this is actually where Asian fusion, like French-Asian fusion food was born, because these two neighborhoods are right next to each other. And then on the north side of Chinatown, you're going to have North Beach, which is the Italian neighborhood in San Francisco. So we can roll down right here, down the main strip. Anyway, 49ers offensive line, Speaking of rolling down the main strip, rolling in the run game, San Francisco, I don't think I've seen them run the ball as well as they did last week. And I'm talking about blocking and obviously Christian McCaffrey seeing the blocks in front of him. I'm talking about the whole gamut. I don't think that the 49ers have run as well since week 1 of 2024 when Jordan Mason had all those carries and all those yards against the New York Jets. That's how well they were clicking against the Bears. And the Bears have some good personnel. So, I mean, it's not like they're going up against a bunch of chumps in Chicago, but obviously Chicago does not rank nearly as well defensively as the Seattle Seahawks. But you do have to find a way to get Seattle to commit a little extra to the run game. Pan right here, you're going to get California Street again. Oh, yeah. What a shot. We have the best camera operator in the entire game right now. And I know these Driving with David videos were popular, and Margot always gets so much love in the comment section, and she deserves it. She is doing an excellent, excellent job. But if you bring in that extra defender, then you're going to be able to beat Seattle with the tight end. And George Kittle is going to play in this game for the 49ers. And the Seahawks, they rank top 5 across the board defensively. All the analytics say they're top 5 against every single position in the pass game, except for the tight end position. They're number 18 against tight ends. Are we going to make this light? Are we going to make this light? Oh, that's totally legal. We made the light. We were in the intersection before it turned red. As long as you're in before it turns red, you're good. Yellow counts. Yellow means speed up, and you're good. Maybe we cut that out. No, I think I'll keep it in. It's true. I mean, you could go on yellow. It's totally fine. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Got a lot of tourists here in Chinatown today. Move through one more. Lipo Lounge, which is right here on the right with the in and out like colors. Legendary. Anthony Bourdain got drunk there before he went to Sam's. Shout out to Sam's. So the Seahawks are really good against everyone on the offensive side of the ball when you look at the analytics, except for tight ends. And I think this is the big potential trump card for the 49ers offense. And you saw it in week 1 when George Kittle was healthy and playing in that game in week 1. The 49ers went on a 14-play, 85-yard drive to open the season that ended with a big touchdown pass to George Kittle. And, long drives are going to be necessary. You're going to have to earn every single yard in this game. Nothing is going to come for free because of what I just illustrated before. Seattle can stop the run even out of a 2-shell defense. So that means that you're going to have to chip away at them, play clean football up and down the field. But the one area of leverage that you can win at against this Seattle team is with the run-pass adaptability that the 49ers have that many other teams, maybe no other team has, thanks to George Kittle. And there's a reason that 49ers' most impressive drive of the game in week 1 came when George Kittle was healthy. He then strained his hamstring, and they didn't have him anymore for the rest of the game. It was more of a slog. They still did put together 3 more drives of more than 10 plays, but that first drive, that 14-play drive, Kittle had a couple big catches, and I think that the 49ers can get the Seahawks into position where they're vulnerable again against George Kittle. The Seahawks ranked number 18 in defense-adjusted value over average guarding tight ends this year. They ranked top 5 in everything else against wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. They're good against backs coming out of the backfield. They have not been good against tight ends. And George Kittle is the very best that there is in the NFL. So that's, I think, where the 49ers need to make their hay defensively against the Seahawks. Now, I don't want to exhibit poor behavior here and block the intersection. So this is a technique to make the light, but not block the intersection. Look, you cross the intersection, and then you wait right here. Yeah, this is a traffic. Yeah, take driving advice from me. And then you go back into the lane here. This way, I didn't block the intersection, but I made the light because there's nothing worse than not making a light. Also in San Francisco, they have countdown on the lights. So these cars, they're all kind of clogging the lane here, but I think I can make this one. There's a little hole opened up. This is all that Christian McCaffrey needs to get through. Pan to the right, Transamerica. There we go. The pyramid. This is the coolest drive we've done yet. And Margot is doing a great job capturing everything. Now, the Polo store is in this neighborhood, so this might be Ralph Lauren. This might be one of Margot's favorites. Verified. It's right down there. We're going to continue going straight here, actually, so you can see it. If you wander into this neighborhood, this is really cool. I feel that it has a very East Coast vibe. Turn right, look down this alley. This is a cool alley. It's called Hodling Place. It's got the pyramid there at the very end. And they have the Bastille Day party. Speaking of the French Quarter, every year on Bastille Day, which is like French Independence Day, they take over that alley and everything goes crazy. Shout out to our guys at Fire Station 13. We're not going to be able to make it all the way there, but they're just down the street. I wonder if they're going to put up their 49ers marquee tonight. It says Bang Bang Niner Gang. It's it's this, I can't even call it neon. You know, it's one of those, it's an old school lighting equipment system. And that's the fire station that has the Brock Purdy jersey. Actually, that's these guys right here. If I could find the hat. Man, I wish I would have put it up on the, yeah, I don't think I can get it. Oh, I can maybe. Give me a second. Yeah, I got it right here. San Francisco Fire Department station number 13. Shout out to them. They're right down the street, a block away down that way, but we're turning left. We're not turning right. Here, hat can be up on the dash while we make the drive. I just got a haircut, so I don't want to put on a hat. All right. This is kind of no man's land, so we can continue talking about football. How about the other side of the ball? Darnold against the 49ers defense. Where do we even start with the 49ers defense? Man, I mean, it's tough, you know. Here's the thing. They're number 24 overall EPA, which isn't good. There's only been one defense worse than number 24 to ever win a Super Bowl, and it was the 06 Colts with Peyton Manning. They're number 26 defense DVOA. But here's where this gets a little bit more interesting. The 49ers defense is actually number 15 on third down and number 15 in the red zone. So I wonder if we could get into one of these back alleys. This is where, oh yes. Oh, no, we're going to go straight here. That's going to take us straight to Broadway. I thought that was going to take us to Bix. Bix is a cool restaurant. It's the other way, though. We're going to go up Montgomery. That's going to be the easier way to do this. We're about to go up a steep hill, guys. We're going by Catonia. Awesome little restaurant here on the right. Shout out to my friend Paul. This is where he used to live. I'll send him the video. Right on Montgomery in Jackson Square. But the 49ers defense ranks number 15 in red zone defense and number 15 in third down defense, which is a lot better than number 24. So I don't, you know, I have my doubts about number 24 being good enough for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, but I don't have my doubts about number 15 being good enough. If you've got an elite offense, the number 15 defense would be good enough. And the 49ers happen to be that good at the spots that actually matter, in the red zone and on third down. Now, the question is, can they make sure to carry that over into this game? And that's going to be the operative thing. If you're the 49ers, ooh, nice view of the Bay Bridge. Love it. That's probably your only chance to see the Bay Bridge in this video. Looks like, you know, by the way, it's sprinkling right now, but it hasn't really been raining hard over the course of today. So we'll see if that weather holds up. But I think if it does rain, the game tomorrow, that might hurt Seattle more, just because the biggest performance gap in this matchup is Seattle offense against San Francisco defense. The 49ers defense has been that alarmingly bad at times. But what they have to do is find a way to muscle up, focus, and stop Seattle at just those opportune moments. You have to turn red zone trips into field goals if you're the 49ers, not into touchdowns. 3 instead of 7 for Seattle in those instances. Or, you know, just a takeaway, and it's 0 instead of 3 or 0 instead of 7 for the Seattle Seahawks. If the 49ers can get that done, I think they can keep the Seahawks in the low 20s. And I really do think that the low 20s can win this game for the 49ers. I think formulaically, you look at a game that might be 27-24 49ers. In fact, that is my prediction for San Francisco. 27-24. I think they can get into the upper 20s, and I think that they've got to hold Seattle into the lower 20s. Then there's the special teams question. Let's look to the left here. We got a nice view down the Italian strip of Grant Avenue in North Beach. We're in Chinatown, and we're going to finish this up in Little Italy, North Beach. There's Golden Boy Pizza, of course. There's a line out the door. Jasper Place. Great little neighborhood. Our favorite neighborhood. This is where Margot goes and gets her cannolis. And this is where we're going to finish up with our final prediction. I'm saying 27-24 49ers over the Seahawks. Special teams is definitely something to pay attention to if you're San Francisco. I'm calling it the Special Teams Bowl. The Seahawks have the number 1 special teams unit in football. The 49ers are number 2. The main justification for my prediction is that back in week 1, the 49ers won 17-13, but they won despite missing 2 field goals. Like, Jake Moody was still on the team. So if he makes both of those very, very makeable field goals, the 49ers would have won that game, what, 23-13? You add 6 points onto the score. Maybe Seattle even scores less. Either way, the 49ers were on track statistically. If you look at the yards per play, the total yards, the time of possession, the 49ers had 15 more minutes of possession. They were on track to win that game by 2 scores. They won by 4, but they were on track to win it by 2 scores. Yes, they've lost Nick Bosa. Yes, they've lost Fred Warner since that game. But they were on track to win it by 2 scores, and their special teams is much better now. They've got Eddie Pinheiro instead of Jake Moody. They have gelled as a special team. Yeah, Eddie Dinero instead of Jake Moody. You see that? Speaking of dinero, it's money. That's the original Bank of America building. It used to be the Bank of Italy here in North Beach, the Italian neighborhood. But they changed the name to Bank of America. Money, Eddie Dinero. Now we make our right turn onto Columbus. Should we go this way? Yes, we should. We should go right by Tony's Pizza and all that good stuff and see Washington Square to wrap up the show, because we could see the Italian crosswalks, which are really cool. If these cars get out of the way, we've had a couple issues now with cars blocking the road. This guy in an old Mercedes, shout out to him. He is going to let us get through. That's awesome. Thank you, sir. Give a little, oh, well, it's an old lady. We give her a wave. That's a nice old car. They're the Italian flag crosswalk. Shout out to the San Francisco Italian Athletic Club. And shout out to Original Joe's for feeding my wife chocolate cake on the left. He really liked the chocolate cake. And shout out to Tony's on the right. He's a big friend of the 49ers, actually. That has won World's Best Pizza several times, and he just opened an outpost in Franklin, Tennessee. So now your dad, who really likes pizza with too many anchovies on it, can go get some Tony's Pizza without leaving a 10-minute radius of his house. And now for the grand finale, obviously, Washington Square, St. Peter and Paul's Church. 49ers going to win this 27-24 because even without Warner and even without Bosa, they had a 2-possession gap last time, considering better special teams. And they do have that better special teams unit now. So all things considered, I think that the 49ers hold on to that gap, because I have one more kicker here. Brock Purdy played the majority of that Week 1 win at Seattle with turf toe. He doesn't have turf toe anymore, or if he has it, then it's obviously not affecting him. I think it did affect him in the second half. The high-powered 49ers offense will get into the upper 20s. That's going to be enough for the 49ers to beat the Seattle Seahawks, claim the 1 seed, repeat history from 6 years ago, and this time maybe the 49ers will be able to finish the job in the Super Bowl after they get the home field advantage, because guess what? The Super Bowl's here. The Super Bowl is back in the Bay Area. 27-24 Niners. Thanks for watching. Driving with David signs off.